Okay, so I did my project on Caesar Cipher. Caesar Cipher is something we learned earlier this year, and it was just a fun code activity I did right here, just to represent what it is. If you don't remember, Caesar Cipher is just a three-letter forward encryption. And so I used C++ plus plus, and I used a random compiler website. And I chose C++. Plus plus. You could have chose Java, Python, anything, but I chose C++ plus plus just because it was simple. Also, I'm an IT major, not computer science. So I just chose something that was easy I could just do and present. And actually, this took me only like a week and a half to do because, like I said, I'm not a computer science major, but I still have the fundamentals. And my freshman year professor, he helped me with this actually. I did a rough draft, and it was way longer than this because obviously I wasn't really too good with it. But he helped me and he concised it down. He concised my code down and helped me out with it. So I'll just explain each part of my code now, and then I'll give some examples, typing it in, and it'll give the output. So first, I start by just defining the variables. These variables store the two strings that the user are going to input, which is just like the two words basically, any two words. And so when we this part right here, all we're doing is just array is defines the mapping for the Caesar cipher, which is defining the mapping for it, and it's a fixed shift of three for the forward position because this code I'm just making an exact copy of the Caesar cipher. I'm not making my own cipher, it's just Caesar cipher. So yeah, this array, it's just a fixed shift of three letters, three letters forward. And right here, we're just prompting the user to input the first word, lowercase only, second word, lowercase only, and all this, the sins right here is what you see. This is in C++ plus plus only, really. And it's just reading the first string from the user and it's just storing it within input one. And then same thing right here, storing it within input two. And these two for loops right here, I'll explain this. These are, once I explain in the first for loop, it's going to be the same thing for the second, just for the second word the user inputs. So basically the for char c, which is char is just one letter basically, as we're storing it with input one. It just iterates each character individually. C in the first input string, which is stored within input one. Yeah. So if right here, this part, if C is greater than or equal to A and C is less than or equal to Z, which we have defined in our mapped array, it's just checking if the character C is a lowercase letter between A and Z. So we're just making sure it's between those two words because A is the first letter in the alphabet, Z is the last. That's what we have equal to, because obviously if they type in A, that we want it to be equal to A as well, and less than or equal to Z. So if they type in Z, Z is involved in that as well. So A and Z and anything in between that. And it's just checking if the character C is a lowercase letter in between those two values, like I just said. And so the C minus the A just converts the letter C into an index, which we have as 0 to 25. So for example, A minus A is 0, index of A, obviously. B minus A equals 1, index of B, and so on. And when we're doing the mapping C minus A, it just uses the index to find the corresponding encrypted letter from the mapping array. So this part right here, output 1 plus equals mapping C minus A. This is just appends the encrypted letter to the output 1 string. And this last else part, all it's doing is just saying if the character is not a lowercase letter or if it's a number or symbol, it's just not going to read or encrypt. It's not going to encrypt it, obviously. And so this last part is just finishing off the code, really nothing important. So let's start with the example now. Let's type in anything. Let's do Towson University. Let's press 1, and it'll encrypt it right here. You see, this is the encrypted word. Oh, see, I already messed it up because I didn't do uh Yeah, you see this? I left the uppercase T and I left the uppercase U. So you see right here, I couldn't get this part. I tried to fix it, but I couldn't get it. That's why I put, if you see right here in the, when I'm putting the output, it's telling enter the first word lowercase only, second word lowercase only. So see, I messed up my own code already. So see how the T is left unencrypted and the U is left unencrypted. I'm gonna leave the same thing. Just do lowercase. And C is encrypted, yeah. Encrypts it fully. Let's do one more word. Let's just do blackboard, separate it into two words. And C is encrypted. Yeah. And that's really all.